Hello, friends. Last day here at the summit. I just left the AT&T building hotel where the conference happened. It was amazing. Um, the last panel was all comprised of Hispanic Americans, but I will leave that for last. Let me just, again, it's going to be a much shorter video, I hope, today, because it was like pretty much half a day and one or two specific lectures and two panels. So here we go. Today, one of the panels was talking about, well, actually the first one was, I'm going to start from the beginning. Vivek Ramaswamy, the who just announced his candidacy for the 2024 presidential election. Great guy, very young, and this is the moment when we should see that as a very positive thing in the Republican Party. I have been talking to friends about this. We'd better have more people in the debate stage in order to diversify and in order to present the best of each candidate. Trump is not going to have an easier time this time. It's going to be much more difficult than in 2016. Well, it all starts in the debate stage. So to have Vivek Ramaswamy here today was a treat. Very nice guy and pretty much aligning to everything that we believe. Of course, in campaigns, political campaigns, people say whatever we want to hear, but he seems to be, as the first generation of Americans, his parents came from India here, and he has a lot of the values. He's been talking a lot about identity, American identity. But let's talk about what he just summarized, what he talked about. He talked about the religion of woke today. He said this is pretty much a religion. A couple of highlights here that he talked about. He said, well, today black and brown people with black and brown face are called white supremacists when they are not aligned with the voices of black and brown folks. Meaning, if they say the same thing whites are saying, they're racist. They are not brown or black. Same thing for gay. He was talking about Peter Thiel. He's a billionaire, American billionaire, and this guy is much more aligned with the conservative principles than he is with the progressive principles. And because of that, and being gay, they are saying he cannot be gay or he cannot be conservative. So he was talking about the problem with that is just a religion, and he gave even a couple of commandments. Well, these are the commandments of those people: gender identity, the woke movements all across America, especially in the universities and so on and so forth. This has become a secular religion, and because of that, America, and this was his highlight, his major point, America has become a country with an identity crisis. He said that the North Star for America should be right now to restore American national identity, meaning all of the values that made America what America is: liberty, freedom, pursuit of happiness, family, God, patriotism, and so on and so forth. A sentence here, a quote from him: when you tell people they can't speak, he was talking about how important the First Amendment is in times like we're living through right now. He said, when you tell people they cannot speak, they will scream. And when you tell them not to scream or that they can't scream, that's the moment when they start tearing things down. And that is so true, not only now, but throughout history. That is the case. This is such a fact that when people are shut up, when their mouths are shut up and they cannot express what they believe, what they feel about things, what they see, even the facts that are in front of their very eyes, when they cannot talk about that. And he was not only focusing on social media, but he was focusing on everyday types of conversations that we have. So he said that this should be the North Star for America right now, meaning to restore the country's national identity right now. He said we need to sign a new Declaration of Independence. He said many times, several times, if George Washington, especially Thomas Jefferson, were here today, they would be working to sign a Declaration of Independence from China. So that was amazing that he said that, because he said that the existential threat that we have today for the survival of America is China, because of how much we are dependent on that country in everything we do. So we should sign a new declaration, and that declaration should be the Declaration of Independence from China. He called TikTok, the Chinese social media, a digital fentanyl. Look at how powerful that was. TikTok is a digital fentanyl. And instead of talking about national divorce right now, I mean, there are many voices like Marjorie Taylor Greene, and even in the Congress, even in Washington, D.C., even our major national voices, they are already amplifying this message that we're coming to a point where blue states and red states will depart. And he said, instead of talking about that, what about talking about a national revival? And he says there is no way to revive the country without common ideals, without that core identity that the country has always had. He said we need to choose our pathway today. Are we going to engage in a national divorce, or are we going to engage in a national revival? So with that, things that I did not take note about was the final session that was comprised by 4 Hispanic Americans. The moderator was Mayra Flores. She was elected for the first time, the first Mexican American, meaning born in Mexico and naturalized American, that made her way to Washington, D.C. She lost. That was a special election. She won, and then she stayed there for 8 or 9 months. She lost the general election. And then TPPF, Texas Public Policy Foundation, hired her to work with the Hispanic community, and she was the moderator, and the other guys were 2 state representatives and 1 senator in the Texas Congress. It was just fantastic conversation. Of course, these are people that know exactly why they came to America, exactly why their parents came to America, for freedom, for liberty, for the liberty to worship God the way they wanted, the liberty to believe in the family values that they have not only in Mexico but in Latin America. So it was an excellent conversation, high-level conversation, because these guys, these 4 people that were there, exemplify and actually embody what it means to have or to fulfill the American dream. One final thing that I would like to share with you all was on a personal note. Several people recognized me as one of the J6ers, one of the January 6th defendants, and came to talk to me. It was so fantastic. Not only Midlanders that saw me on the papers or on social media or newspapers, but even people from Alpine, one person here from Austin recognized me, said, where do I know you from? And I engaged with them in a very friendly type of conversation, and with no exception, their message to me was, we support you. We understand what that you did, or why you did what you did. And one prayed with me. So just wanted to give that as a feedback to you all, because so many of you, probably all of you, have been continually praying for us, especially in our immigration process right now. And it was such a blessing to me. It ministered a lot to my heart to have these engagements, these connections with people in ways that only God could do. Again, some Midlanders, and people from Odessa as well, but especially Midlanders, connected in a way that I was not expecting. I know who these people were, connected with the Republican Party locally, and they said, we understand you, we support you, thank you for what you did, and all of us are believing for whatever is coming out on Tucker Carlson next week to show the truth about everything that happened on January the 6th, 2021. As I told you many times, and as I told these guys here, I firmly and completely 100% believe that the truth about January 6th will come out. The second portion of the statement is, I don't know what they will do with the truth that will come out. I don't know if anybody will be punished. I don't know if Pelosi is going to be punished. I don't know if whoever was involved in this will be punished, will receive the punishment that they deserve for doing whatever they did. But the truth will all come out, and the country and the world will know what happened that day. So I wrap up here. Thank you so much again for your support, for your prayers. I'm going to stay here for the day today, taking a look at the beautiful Capitol. I'm going to visit inside one more time, pray a little bit, meditate a little bit, spend the night here, and tomorrow morning I'm heading back my way to my beloved Midland. Love that city. Love you guys. May the Lord bless you, and I will be right with you next week about the next steps that we are taking in Midland, specifically focused on the new city manager selection that City Council will have to come up with in the coming months. God bless you. Bye.